Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome here to iRacing Super Speedway here for race 4 of the iSNF Cup Series here from iRacing Super Speedway. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here for week 4 here at this very unique racetrack we're going to come to here in the iSNF Cup Series. Um, obviously, um, it's going to be very interesting to see how this will all come about, but it's we'll see right here on this race information, a very different track, almost 3 miles in length, bigger than your even 2.5 mile track that we see over at Talladega in Daytona that we saw earlier this week. But it's going to be definitely interesting to see how this goes. But we do have some fast drivers out on track right now, and we'll go ahead and get some cameras on some drivers who are currently still out on track right now. We'll go ahead and pull up some of your fastest drivers tonight here in practice right now. It looks like Zach Phillips Sr. in that number 7 machine, top of the board there with a 55.3 and then a 55.5 for Isaac Wilson as he comes back into the iSNF Cup Series for the first time in a little bit, winning in that number 77 Spyro machine. Joey Main's back there in P3. Thomas Flynn in the 24 back there in P4. And Chris Van Masters, we've seen him run very well in these plate style races. He's back there in P5. Chris Otto out on track with looks like a group of these Fords, and yeah, mostly Fords, a couple Toyotas, and see that lone Chevy of Chris Otto right there, currently P6. See a lot of these Penske Fords coming out with each other. John Hopley leading this kind of little pack here. You see the 4, you see the 2, you see the 21, you see the 12 back there as well. Cody Meadows in this pack. Hopefully Meadows can have a little bit of a rebound from these last couple of races. Just has not had the luck that I think he's needed to have here in these races here. But hopefully he can turn it around here and have a good finish here. But I know Cody's a very good super speedway racer, and hopefully he can get a turnaround here. Looks like he's got a good group of teammates and alliances here that help him get to the front. We know that 12 car going to kind of lead the way here, especially in that Penske camp. So we'll see what he can do here as we continue to chew the clock down here in practice. While we get the time, let's go ahead and look at your championship points here if it is loaded up correctly. Go ahead and take a look at your points coming in to iRacing Super Speedway if I did it right. I don't think we did, though. We'll try to get that solved for you. We'll go ahead and pull up this timing ticker to see if anybody else makes some moves to get up towards the board here as practice starts to tick down. I'm very excited to see what we could do here for a great day of racing here at iRacing Super Speedway. Obviously, we had a relatively interesting race when it came to, my apologies, I forgot that we do not have display capture on. We only have display capture, we don't have game capture. I do apologize for that, everybody. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to look at your guys' race championship points as cannot figure out how to pull it up. So but you see Cody Meadows going for a spin right there. We continue to look at some of these drivers come out on track here. You see a little group of cars here coming out of pit road. A couple of Chevrolets. Get a 7, the 24, and the 5. All kind of, I believe, kind of in that same alliance group here in the iSNF Cup Series. The Spire Camp and the Hendrick Motorsports Camp all working together here. So but as the time continues to take down, just over 2 minutes left in practice, and then we'll get into qualifying, and we'll talk a little bit more about qualifying as we get there, because qualifying is going to be a little interesting tonight, as it's a little bit different than what we've seen before here this season. John Hopley there in the 4 machine, going to jump out of line, help from his teammate in the 22. Justin Johnson jumping out of line here. Be really interesting to see, how these drivers take these runs, because you think the runs are big at these super speedways like Talladega and Daytona. They are so much more amplified here at iRacing Super Speedway, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they take them and how these drivers navigate these kind of different runs that they're going to have to navigate, right? We're not going to come to a track that's anything like this for the rest of the season, though. You see the 9 in the back take a spin. See Justin Johnson kind of on his own, generating a run from the top lane. A little bit of a blink out from the 22. Still making something happen. I mean, it's just one of the most unique tracks that we have on the service is here in iRacing Super Speedway. So just approaching just under a minute left in practice. Try to find someone else in this pack that isn't blinking. We have Harrison at 21. And there's a big tumble for this pack. We get ready to end practice here from iRacing Super Speedway, also known as, some people know it as Coca-Cola Speedway back in the NR 2003 days, right? This is kind of where iRacing got the track from, was that idea from Coca-Cola Speedway. Back in the day with the papyrus and in the papyrus days and all that. So obviously unique track. If people are known for that, you'll know what I'm talking about here. So we'll get ready for your qualifying for tonight's race here from iRacing Super Speedway. And we do apologize for maybe some things not looking properly right. For some inside knowledge, obviously, especially here in the iRacing community here. We have had some issues with people getting their accounts hacked on Discord specifically. And unfortunately for that, um, some things have had to change here. So unfortunately, our league owner, Maria Ferris, was one of the victims of this breach, if you want to call it. And we ended up having to make she ended up having to make a completely different Discord server. So some things just aren't put in place the way they need to be. So hopefully down the line we can figure out um what the issue is with this. And hopefully we can get it figured out and sorted out down the line here. But qualifying underway here, and this is what I wanted to talk about. So a little bit of a different qualifying for tonight's race, as it is group qualifying. So obviously we see up top there, no iSNF ticker, just because no iSNF Cup Series logo here on the ticker. We just really didn't have a lot of time to get everything sorted out, just because this kind of breach happened throughout the week last week. Now, and I know Rhea's been working her tail off to try to get this figured out by the time we got ready to go green here from iRacing Super Speedway. But unfortunately, for some of us, especially me up in the booth, who had to try to put everything together last minute, couldn't get everything pulled together. So we do apologize for that. But we will try to be better going into next week. Really all we can ask for. So, but going back to qualifying, a little bit of a different thing here, especially for iRacing Super Speedway. We're gonna have group qualifying. So usually we'd go out and try to find some marquee guys to look at here, but everybody's in the pack here, and that's gonna be interesting to look at, because look at this pack here. So technically, it is faster to be working in a pack, but remember, your lap time is disallowed if you make any sort of, even if it's 0x contact. So these guys can kind of sit in line here, going in line there. But like, for instance, we'll go on board with Joey Maines here in this number 48 machine. This driver cannot touch this 24 at all. You're going to see him, everybody kind of arrow pushing everybody out through this qualifying session. So it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers navigate kind of this different qualifying strategy, I guess you want to call it that. So go ahead and pull up this ticker here because it does have the numbers up posted. I don't know why our ticker, our tower doesn't have the custom numbers on that Rio probably wants for us, but as you see, this 48 trying their best to arrow push this little pack out to try to get the best time right now. Currently, Chris Otto in that 9 machine in this pack. Fastest in qualifying with the 56.01. A good lap for a number 9 machine. Obviously, you see 4 Chevys in a row that, you know, Hendrick Spire Alliance, and then you have the 41 back there. Bob Wyckoff, you know, tagging in behind here. But I'm looking at this number 2. Where is he? Mark Gonzalez. He's kind of lagging back here a little bit. And he's going to get a good jump here to try to get a good lap here. You hear him lifting a little bit, and he's going to try to go now, I would say. Like, as soon as he hits the flag, he's going to try to go and get back to this front pack. This will be a pretty good lap if he can, you know, keep the X's down here. We'll see if he goes up the charts. He goes up to P15 right now on the board. See, look how much speed he just gained on these guys. They're going to try to go around the 9 here. Going to kind of stall out here. That might have been contact, honestly. But he will stall out because he's side by side here. So the 9 will let him drop down here. And then he'll even get a little bit of a better run here, getting back to the 41 of Bob Wyckoff. Bob Wyckoff currently takes your pull away, actually. 55.89 for the 41 machine. Coming to the stripe here, we'll see if number 2 got any more speed out of this car. I presume it's going to be a little bit quicker. And to the top of the board he goes. Mark Gonzalez takes the pull for now. And he'll pull off to the side here. I'm looking back here at the 19 as well. Angel will pull off as well. Currently P14 for the driver from Mexico. And we still have about 5 minutes left in quali here because they gave, RIA did give the drivers 10 minutes for qualifying here since it's a little bit of a special circumstance here for iRacing Super Speedway terms. Jeff Perchatsky here in a pack. Driving the 99 machine for Trackhouse. Which is funny because Trackhouse does not have the 99 anymore. That is an RFK car. But obviously with the Cup Series not here yet, I think it's excusable. So right now Jeff Perchatsky goes up to P21. Working with Cody Meadows in that 21 machine. The 35. We'll see who that 35 is in this race. At 35, I believe, has had like a different driver every race here. So we're trying to figure out where people are here and with the numbers and stuff. Jeff Perchatsky will pull off to the side here. Is okay with that lap. James Bull's back in the 35, actually. So maybe that might be a new place for him in that 2311 machine. James Bull's, like it says on the title, they're league veteran. Been here for a while now. Try to look around here and see if we can find any other battles here. Or any, see James Johnson, Justin Johnson, my apologies, back there. Charles Roberson coming out with a pack of cars. Coming out with the 34 and the 48. Eugene Thorne. Joey Maines. Like I see the 12 of Cody Meadows behind there in that pack. And this track with iRacing Super Speedway is super unique. Because I think it's almost warranted, especially in this group qualifying type of run. You see the 11. He's dropping to the back. Well, you're going to see him do. He's going to lag back quite a bit. He's going to stay back enough to where he can keep the draft. But a lot of these guys will lag back here. And that's exactly how Mark Gonzalez got that lap. That 55.6 Some drivers will purposely lag back if they know they have the pack here, and will get the run, get back to the back here, because you know you're at least going to run the same lap as these guys in front of you. But if you can lag back and get a run here to start whatever lap you're on, right? You're going to get a little bit more time out of that. Some drivers doing that same thing. I thought Charles maybe was going to lag back. But no. You see someone like the 12 of Cody Meadows. He's actually lagging back a little bit. Cody already has a top 10 qualifying effort right now. So he's going to take the run on the top. Drop back in line. No run for right now for that number 12 machine. He'll drop back in line. Like I said earlier, I feel like the only way you can, if you want to get a cheese lap, if you want to call it that, is by lagging back, doing exactly what Mark Gonzalez did. That was a textbook group quali lap for that number 2 machine. Oh, looks like someone blew up. I think that was the 77. Cody Meadows cannot beat that lap. He has a best lap of 56.2. That was a 56.4. There you go. See the checkered flags there on your timing and scoring above here. And that means Mark Gonzalez will take you pull away here from iRacing Super Speedway. So congrats to Mark on the lap. Bob Wyckoff will also be on the front row, outside front row next to this 2 machine. Wait on the timer to go. With these group quality sessions, iRacing does allow everybody to complete their laps before we get into the race here. So I assume there's a little bit of a buffer time that iRacing is allowing these drivers to potentially complete the lap that they're on here, as we see some drivers now. I think as the changeover starts, we'll have to see here. Here it is. And we'll go over your race information one more time before we get into your starting lineup tonight. So obviously, here at iRacing Super Speedway, 83 laps here, with stages on lap 25 and 50, with 0 fast repairs, 4 extra sets of tires. So very interesting, to say the least. We'll get ready to get your starting lineup here, presented by High Velocity TV, as we'll wait on some of your drivers to grid and get ready to go here. We'll start here. Mark Gonzalez with the Team Penske number 2, going to be your pole sitter tonight with that 55.663. Bob Wyckoff outside front row, and that number 41 machine. Great qualifying for Bob. Chris Otto back there in P3 alongside Thomas Flynn. Good run for him last week. He'll start back there in that. They complete that pass forward. Larry Fairman in the 66 alongside Zach Phillips in that number 7 machine. Joey Maines in the 48. Cody Meadows going to round out that top 8. Rounding out your top 10, Nicholas Johnson and Charles Roberson rounding out that top 10. P11 will go to Mark Roberg in the 43 alongside Parker Strandrit. And then number 12, back there in 13 is going to be the 22, Justin Johnson, Chris Van Astrick In the 38, going to be that P14 car. Shane Griffin, P15, alongside Chris Bishop. Eric Jorgensen, P17. Will Austin, P18. Already won once this season. Jimmy Johnson in the number 10 will come out 19th, and rounding out your top 20 will be Angel Hernandez, now in the 19 car this race. Eugene Thorne, P22. Rhea Ferris. Eugene Thorne will be P21, my apologies. P22 will go to Rhea Ferris. John Hopley and Don Blazier in the 24 will round out that top 24. David Anderson in the 97 alongside Jeff Perchatsky, P26. James Bulls, P27. Chuck Cobb, P28. Jeff Weimer, P29, and rounding out your top 30, Gabe Ledger. Alyssa Sharp in that number will be 31st alongside Davey Hendricks. Jason Steptoe and Isaac Wilson will round out 33rd, 34th. Steven Sear, Mike Iskandar, P35 and P36 are rounding out the field tonight. Brian Treadwell at number 78, Live Fast Machine. You can look at your race weather for tonight's race. You're right there on the right side of your screen. 84-degree track temp, 65 degrees air temp. A little bit of 6-mile-an-hour wind here, so great day for racing and great day for some super speedway style racing for tonight. Once again, 83 laps tonight here from iRacing Super Speedway. Stages on lap 25 and lap 50. That's going to be an exciting one. Everybody get on your feet. We get ready to go. 83 laps here from the virtual banks here at iRacing Super Speedway. As you see, the lights on the pace car are off. We'll take the hard left turn. Now we will turn the lights back on. I believe everybody's still trying to get grouped up here. We'll go one more lap here before we start your race here. So 37 cars decide to show up here for week 4 here in the iSNF Cup Series, and it's going to be a long race. It's going to be a grueling race. It's going to be probably a survival race. A lot of these drivers might not know how to manage these runs, and we'll have to just see as we get further and further on into the race. Once again, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator tonight for the iSNF Cup Series here, week 4 at iRacing Super Speedway. We appreciate you guys coming out and watching the broadcast, whether you're over on the High Velocity TV YouTube page or whether you're over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. I'd really appreciate it if you guys would drop a follow wherever you guys are watching. If you're over on the YouTube, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and maybe sharing the broadcast with some friends and family. It's going to be a wild race. It's going to be entertaining. I'm definitely looking forward to see how this race goes. But you do see lights back off on the pace car. It's going to be a Ford Chevy front row. Mark Gonzalez in the number 2 Penske machine alongside Bob Wyckoff, the 41 Haas factory team, as Ace made the switch over to Chevrolet. As we'll see that pace car take a hard left turn on the pit road. We're going to get ready to go green here. 83 laps here from iRacing Super Speedway as that 2 car will lead us to green. You see some movement up front as the 9 Cross Auto alongside that Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Joey May is going to take 1 and 2. You'll see Nicholas Johnson in the 20. He's going to take over that P3 spot. And another Toyota behind him, Mark Roberg, going to take over that P4. Mark Gonzalez, your pole sitter, takes over that P5 position. We're going to see some movement, some Dyson through the field here. You're going to try to see these drivers try to test the waters here these first couple laps to see how these runs work out, to see how these cars drive with these big, massive runs here. As you'll see further back, you see Charles Roberson, the first guy, going to jump upside to the outside lane. Going to have help from Cody Meadows in the 12 machine. Cody Meadows going to give a huge bump here. Try to get this outside lane rolling early. That talks about it. These runs on the outside are going to be massive. I mean, they're going to be so much bigger than you're going to see anywhere else here, especially at the super speedways. Now, Mark Gonzalez is going to jump up here. He's going to lead the top lane. Side by side back there around that 4th or 5th lane. 2 side by side with the 24 Thomas Flynn. But in front of them, single file on that bottom lane is Joey Maines, Chris Otto. Still 1 and 2 there on that front lane. You still see the 20 of Nicholas Johnson keeping that bottom lane rolling, as well as that Toyota teammate of Mark Roberg. Through the 3rd lane, start to form here. Jeff Perchatsky coming to that 3rd lane. Help from the 66 of Larry Fairman. No help for that 99 though. Jeff Perchatsky trying to make something happen. Gonna get left out the drag here. Jump that. We'll jump down right behind that 35. James Bowles. He'll try to make something happen probably later on in the race. But right now, that 3rd lane is just not viable right now. So drop back down. Try to make something happen maybe later. Some cars out back already like going out of their way to get away from this pack here. You see, look at this. John Hopley still within, I think, within touch here of this lead pack, but going out of their way to give some space. This track is pretty scary to drive at if you're not comfortable being in the pack, not comfortable going 3-4 wide, which you can do here at this 3.5 mile track. You're gonna see these guys like Hopley back here just sitting back as they're wrecking right in front of them. Caution will wave. It looks like the 10 involved. I believe I saw the 17 involved as well. We'll go back on board with this 10 machine. See what happened to James Johnson here. A little bump from the 8. Just a bad push from the 8. And it's super hard to correct it here with how fast you're going. Look how much banking is in the corners here at iRacing Super Speedway. And then 8 gets him into him again. And around that 10 will go. Nothing really that James did wrong here. Gabe Ledger in the 8 machine, putting the bump to the 10. And luckily, you know, James trying to do the best he can to lock it down here. He'll slide down the high and banking here at the iRacing Super Speedway and Fortunately, go to the back. Chris Auto continues the lead here in this number 9 machine. This Napa Auto Parts Camaro. We're under caution here on lap 6 of 83. Remember, we do get stage 1 at lap 25. As you see, everybody coming down pit road, probably going to top off on some Sunoco fuel. I don't imagine seeing anybody take tires here. But after Chris gets done with his pit stop, we'll go ahead and talk to him as he's basically led most of the laps here. Not a pit road here. As I was going to, I don't think we have permissions to drag people. So well, we were going to talk to Chris Otto, but unfortunately, we cannot drag people into the booth with, like I said before, with the new Discord update. Well, with the Rhea have to basically make a brand new server from scratch. These things are going to happen as the growing pains continue as they try to kind of rebuild the server again. So maybe down the line here, we might be able to drag some people in throughout the race here. I'd really like to talk to your stage winners throughout the race here, but right now, currently, not going to be able to do that. But Chris Otto did lose the lead there. Mark Gonzalez will take the point here. Your pole sitter comes back to the front. You'll see Joey Maines. He was up there towards the front. We'll take over that P2 spot. He'll start outside front row. Chris Otto drops back to P3. Thomas Flynn in the 24 comes at that fast 4. You see a Toyota Ford third row. Charles Roberson, Cody Meadows back there in the 12 machine. But you do see lights off on the pace car going through the backstretch here. Means we'll be going green this time by. And hopefully we can go a little bit longer here than, what, 6 laps, 5 laps here. Let's see how these runs play out. And that just shows right there that maybe, especially if you're outside really the top 8, probably be a little bit more patient when it comes to getting in the back of someone, right? Especially here where the runs just come and go so quickly. You're going to have to be patient around the drivers around you, but we'll have to see if we go a little bit longer green here as you see the pace car take a hard left back on the pit road. You'll see Barney with the flag in hand. We'll get ready to go green back here from iRacing Super Speedway. I see some shuffling about there and outside of the top three. It's cautioned out one more time. Like the 10 involved again. Looks like Steven Sear might have gotten a view of this. We'll see what happened. Oh wow! So just just off to start here. Looks like that's the 7, Zach Phillips. See if we can find Zach Phillips here. See what happens with the 7 machine. So Zach just tries to get down in front of Angel in the 19. Not clear, unfortunately. A lot of guys just nowhere to go. Looks like he actually grabs the 71, his teammate there. 78, the Brian Treadwell's just going to plow through the wreck. And Caution Wave once again. We'll stack him back up. The Caution Wave here once again on lap 10. And see what we can do here. So a pretty eventful race. As I wish I could say I was surprised. We apologize for the blinking. Trying to reload our overlays here real quick. There we go. I think we got it fixed. This is Brian Treadwell in the lead. That is not true. Looks like Brian actually is blinked out here in pit road. Hopefully that will fix itself. There he goes. He goes to the bottom of the charts. Around the time where I would try to interview someone, but unfortunately I can't. So, we got some chatters in chat. I'd really love to see who you guys are cheering for or rooting for to potentially come here and potentially get their first win here of the season here in iSNF, in the iSNF Cup Series here. Season 11, week 4 here from iRacing Super Speedway. Who are you guys looking for to maybe take it here from this definitely unique racetrack? Lights are back off on the pace cars. We've lost our... We've lost our ticker here. We're going to go ahead and pull up the thumbnail while we try to get this figured out real quick. Well, we're going to have to figure that out down the line here. As we get ready to go green here, we'll try to do a audio call since we don't have our timing and scoring up. Is Mark Gonzalez will lead us back to green. See that bottom lane starting to roll pretty good here. You see now the top three, now top four, single file on the bottom there. Chris Otto gonna drop back there, and it's gonna be a Ford, Toyota, Chevy front three. All three different manufacturers up here towards the front. You see Cody Meadows up there on that top side. Back there in the sixth place. Trying to make some headway. Oh, wreck in the back. Caution will wave. Go back and look at your top three here as we're trying to sort out these timing and scoring here. Get your overlays back. Caution will wave. Now we have our ticker back up and going. Take a look back and see if we can find where that caution was for him. Like the 88 maybe tore up here. We'll go back and see if we can find what happened here. Especially this 88 machine. Like he's slow on the track here. Yellow's already out here. Here we go. Looks like further on in the back here. See what happened between this 88. 77, yeah, it just makes contact with him. We'll go back to like maybe a chopper cam here. See if maybe we could diagnose this a little bit better. It is contact between 7 in the 88. It upsets the 88. He comes out the track, grabs the 20 of Nick Johnson. It looks like he grabs the 21 of Bria Ferris as well. And man, what a hard lick for the 88. And that's a hard hit to the inside wall. Back up here. Now I believe we could drag some people in. Go ahead and talk to Mark Gonzalez. I still can't drag people. Never mind. Well, unfortunately, we still can't talk to people up here in the booth, but lights are back off on the pace car. We will be going green this time by once again. Apologize for the technical difficulties this race. Like I said earlier, we're trying our best right now. Fortunately, the league owner Rhea Ferris's Discord got hacked, so everybody's kind of had to scramble here to make sure everything went right. We'll see the pace car take a hard left turn back on the pit road, this time by and Mark Gonzalez, Carlos Roberson. Leads us back to green. Let's get another good jump from that bottom lane. Gonzalez will get help from the 9 and the 24. Two Hendrick teammates going to try to work together to keep this bottom lane going. You see Angel Hernandez working his way up through the field. Angel needs no introduction at all. 3-time Cup Series champion, 16 wins. Oh, a little dicey there. He went down the front 3, now almost front 4 clear of the rest of the field here. But here comes another caution. I don't think that's going to be the stage yellow quite yet. Further on back, looks like maybe some slow cars. Like the 42. Got some damage here. We'll see if he could show us the way. Okay, so this was ahead of him as well. Take a look at see the four machine, maybe? Find the four of John Hopley here. Yeah, and it's a weird kind of stack up thing here. The 88 makes kind of an aggressive move in front of the four machine. Looks like the four almost kind of panics there. Comes down the track. Spins it out here. It looks like the 42 gets collected somewhere down the line. Caution will wave. Once again, it says for the second time. I believe this is our fourth caution. But remember, we did have to refresh our overlays for the broadcast, so it is going to count for that. Chris Otto continues the lead here on iRacing Super Speedway. Really a dominant performance for this 9 machine. Obviously, we have had some cautions riddle throughout the race here, which definitely does help this 9 machine keep the lead. All right, we're still trying to work out this technical difficulties with the Discord server here, so that's why we're not really talking a whole lot right now. People keep getting dragged in and out of the broadcast booth for some reason. So, um, we'll get ready to go green here. As once again, you see the lights off on the pace car. There'll be a Chevy front row. The 24 and the 9 looks like Chris Otto decides to pick the top lane here. We get ready to do a 3-lap dash here for the stage. So it'll be Chris Otto on the top, Thomas Flynn on that bottom lane, and then starting from bottom to top will be Mark Gonzalez, Angel Hernandez, Charles Robertson, and then James Bull is going to be that top 6. Go away, Toyota and Chevy dominant really top 10 here. We get ready to go green once again as we'll look back at Chris Otto. He continues to try to lead this race here as we get ready to count down the laps here in stage 1. Once again, a good jump by the bottom lane. You'll see Chris Otto. Help from Thomas Flynn, help from Gonzalez, and now help from the 35 of Bulls try to get that bottom lane out and going. And we've noticed this throughout all these restarts, that the bottom lane just gets going just a little bit better than that top lane. But you'll see that, especially someone like Angel leading that top lane. Oh, you just need a couple laps, and then we'll get going there. You see help from his teammate there, Charles Roberson. You see him now. Look at the run they have on this outside line. They're gonna get a massive run down the front stretch here. Within a matter of time, you'll see them. Yeah, here comes the Hendrick camp to go up there and block those Toyotas. Gustavo tried to do everything he can, but here they come to start the Fed out here. Going down here in the 1 and 2. And give Angel Hernandez the lead here going into 1. Angel help from the 11 of Roberson. Trying to make this bottom lane work now. We don't have the 9, and that looks like the 45 as well. Oh, the 7 goes around in the back. Everybody will try to fan out here. I don't know if that's going to be a caution, but Zach Phillips all tore up back here in the back. His caution will wave. Looks like the 22, Justin Johnson, might also got caught up in another incident outside of this. Yeah, I'm not dragging you guys, so I don't know who is. Go back and look and see what happened to 7. The 7 got dragged here into the VC, and he told us that, not blaming him, but he did not want to talk. So I definitely don't blame him after getting wrecked out there. It will not let us go back and look at that wreck with the 7 machine, but caution will wave once again. You'll see most of the field come down Pay Road here. See a couple who decide to stay out here. 22 to 99. Looks like the 88 will also stay out. The Angel Hernandez will lead most of the field down Pay Road. We have some of those guys who decide to stay out here. Do apologize for the blinking. This is going to happen under cautions from the amount of cars that iSNF allows into the races. This is kind of stuff that's going to happen here. Be Barney with the caution flag in hand, that yellow flag. Jeff Perchatsky. Dustin Johnson decides to stay out. Looks like we got a couple people who decided to stay out here. To the 22 of Justin Johnson. Continuing to blink a little bit. Could be a problem here for the field. We can't get that under control. We might see race control and some admins decide to black flag the 22. While we're continuing to point the camera at this number 99, Tootsie's machine. I think that's what's happening right now. They're telling Justin, hey, you're blinking. You just got to go to the back here for the better of the drivers. So that'll actually give the race lead over to Jeff Perchatsky and this number 99 machine. Driver out of San Diego. 7 starts to his name here, so this will be his 8th start, I believe. Remember, Jeff was up there towards the front when he ran in the 500 as well. So knows how to get around here at these super speedway style tracks. Like, looks like to me, likes to really only come here for the super speedway races. So no, I don't blame him. You know, if he really likes these tracks, especially here in the Cup Series, I don't blame him for only coming back here for like some of these ticket events. You'll see the lights are off on the pace car. You'll see a Chevy front row is Perchatsky, Jorgensen, Weimer, Treadwell. Treadwell was caught up in a couple of these wrecks. It's already up here inside the top 4. Good recovery, at least right now, for that 78 machine. We're ready to go green once again. You'll see that 99 go into the restart zone. We'll get ready to start stage 2 here on iRacing Super Speedway. Once again, you see that inside lane jump out to a pretty healthy jump now, and you'll see like almost a top 10 now. Even back to Chris Otto back here in the 9 machine. He's all the way clear. Everybody back to, it looks like the 20 of Nicholas Johnson all the way clear. So that top lane just completely died here on this restart, but it looks like Chris Otto gets shuffled out. He'll get back in line here. We've seen some wrecks here throughout the race here. Maybe so some of these guys are like, okay, it's time to just ride around. They don't want to worry about pacing, doing stuff right now. Everybody's fine, just kind of sitting single file, except now for this 9 of Chris Otto. Gonna get some help from the 45. Here comes the 24 to make the block. So it's 24. Of Flynn, the 9 of Otto, back there in the 45 is Shane Griffin making his way up to the front. Now you start to see this top lane start to form here, and you see kind of these Toyotas and these Chevys working together pretty well here, despite them not really being teammates or anything else, right? You do see the 2 Hendrick teammates up on the top side. They try to get clear of the 99 of Perchatsky. 24 will clear. The 9 will clear. They'll drop down to the bottom lane. Now you see Shane Griffin going to lead the top lane with that 45. Now here comes the 2 Hendrick cars to block the top lane. And then when they're going to get off the corner. The 2 Hendrick cars are really working in tandem to try to keep themselves up front. They're doing a great job at it. They're going to block the run off from that top lane. And the 45 is going to give him a shove. Ooh, 3 wide there. The 20. Nick Johnson gets put in the sucker hole. See him try to regain his composure. Back up front, you still see. Now you see the 99 of Prochaski working with 11 of Roberson. Trying to see some guys get a little antsy there. Oh, 3 wide. Did you see the 10 get really super out of shape there? Jimmy Johnson will try to work his way back there and trying to maintain this pace here. Now you start to see some aggressive blocking here already here on lap 30. Now it'll be the 24 leading the top, the 9 leading the bottom. So the 2 Hendrick cars got broken up. Whether it was on purpose or not, I'm not sure. You'll see that 24 Thomas Flynn start to try to navigate his back to leading that top lane. Shane Griffin still trying to make that top lane work. So the top 3 still the same here. You'll see Otto, Roberson, Prochaski, Johnson. Your top 4 here, all sitting in line there. You see them catching the lap car. I believe that's the 7 of Zach Phillips. He's going to have to get out of the way in a hurry here. The speed difference between a single car and the pack is pretty massive here. So you see the 7 car still got damage to that machine. Getting out of the way, trying to stay out of harm's way. Now Chris Otto will continue to lead laps. So now everybody getting single file here on lap 32 here in week 4. This is what we need right now, I feel like. Run some laps out. You're not going to win the race by racing aggressive and trying to put people into bad positions. Got to, you know, sit still for a little bit, right? Hold your horses, right? And just run some of these laps out. Maybe you can race maybe in, I would say, 10-ish laps here. Maybe start to ramp up the aggressiveness to maybe get some stage points. But right now, no need to really try to go up there and make some moves, put people into bad spots right there. You just need to ride it out. So, you know, like I said, maybe in around 10 laps, and you can start trying to get some track position for those precious stage points. Saw the 42 go 1 lap down. I'll go straighter it in that legacy machine. So now the 2x2 starts to form once again. 35 Jens Bulls leading the top lane. You'll see Mark Gonzalez getting up there trying to push that 35 out in front. You've seen these, you know, these top 3 on the bottom, but you're really kind of dedicated to each other, trying to keep that bottom lane rolling. But you had some guys wanting to get up here, get some track position. They're trying their best to do it here. You see 3 wide in the back as Mike Iskandar gets shuffled out. He'll find his way to the back. Further up here, that bottom lane starting to get ran down. Now Jeff Prochaski side by side with the leader of that top lane of James Bulls. Now, ooh, look at 3 wide. Charles gets put to sucker hole. To the back he'll go. You just look at the speed difference. We're going to go on board here. And now he gets picked up.
Making me look silly. Oh, contact between him and the 4, and the 11 will go around. We're going to collect a couple cars here with him. See a bunch of damage on that 11 machine. You saw right there him get a little bit tight, walk it up the track. Unfortunately, the 4 of John Hopley was there. See if iRacing will allow us to take a look and see what happened here. Right there, the 4 kind of coming down a little bit. You see that 11 walking it up the track here. Looks like the 4, it's just kind of 2 cars meeting in the middle here. You see 11 get a little upset there, and then unfortunately just overcorrects and then outside wall, and kind of hard to see now with the blinking. It looks like he comes down and grabs the 97. He's going to hook him into the outside wall. Just along for the ride, along. A lot of these drivers have to go. The caution will wave here on lap 36. And for a potential, driver who was a favorite to maybe come out here and win. Had been up towards the front throughout the whole race, but unfortunately, like we saw there, got put in the sucker hole, and fortunately made just a little mistake there, making some contact with the 4. I'm not saying that's 100% blame on the 11. It just looks like the 4 came down, the 19 came up. They kind of met in the middle, unfortunately. 11 probably get the blunt end of that damage. Here comes the rest of the field here. Come down pit road, probably top off on some Sunoco fuel. Got Puchatsky in his box. Looks like Chris Otto won the race off pit road here. If Prochaska comes out P3, Jimmy Johnson in the 10 will come out in third. My apologies. Thomas Flynn fourth, James Bowles in fifth, Larry Fairman sixth, John Blazier seventh, Jeff Weimer will come out eighth, Martin Roberg and Mark Gonzalez will round out your top 10 here, coming out of pit road at least. Chris Otto continues to dominate here at this virtual racetrack. Man, what a job he's done, especially working with his Hendrick Motorsport teammates, making sure he keeps that number 9 out in front. Chris Otto decides to pick the top once again. Yeah, so once again, Chris Otto on the top. You'll see Jeff Puchatsky will lead the bottom line as the 9 decides to pick the top. He gets lane choice as the leader, so he can either pick that top lane or he can pick the bottom. He decides to pick the top to go with that Chevy, his Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Thomas Flynn in that 24. So pretty smart move because he can kind of count down that 24 if he needs to. Get a good jump on a restart. The 99 will have the 10. James Johnson back there to help him out. Then back there on the bottom lane in that third row, James Bowles alongside Larry Fairman in his 66. Larry snuck his way up here slowly and methodically, very quietly, it's up inside the top 10. I'll have to talk about that a little bit later because you see the pace car take a hard left turn back down Pear Road. Now it's going to be Chris Otto, Jeff Perchatsky. Going to lead us back to green. As I said before, Otto trying to count down that 24. And there they are. Both clear, not quite. We don't have to leave that 24 out to dry right now. The 24 will start to lose a lot of track position here. Everybody trying to get down to the bottom as the 24 once again kind of forces Larry to give him the spot there. And he'll drop back there to P5. So now it's Otto, Perchatsky, 1-2. James Johnson back there in P3. James Bowles in at 35. Well, not your fast 4. He's at 34. The first car out of line there. He's going to drop back in line this time. And now here comes the 66. Larry Fairman going to try to make this topside work. No help, though, so you'll probably see him start to fall back. See him jump in front of the 17 now. Blazer will give him the room to get back in line. You see everybody kind of, I wouldn't say spread out a little bit, but they're definitely not on top of each other like they were during the prior, I would say, 30 laps here. Everybody kind of single filed out, trying to make just okay sitting where they are. The only person I kind of see really going out of the way to draft is Jeff Perchatsky, just trying to keep this bottom lane going. Because here comes the top lane. Here comes, once again, Larry Fairman in the 66, except he'll have help. But I think that's the 43. Mark Roberg, he's going to finally get to the back end of the 66. His caution waves once again. Like maybe the 23. Yeah, it looks like the 23 might have gotten involved in something back here. Jason Steptoe. Not clear with the 6 machine. You'll see him get hooked by the 3. Ooh. I don't think he gets hit by anybody yet. Yeah, and I think that 23 is fine. Maybe. I don't think he needs to change, maybe a change of pants. There's a 4 once again. John Hopley involved. You see the 6. It was really the blunt cause of this caution. Nick Cobb. We'll go back and see what happened. And what made this 6 think he could drop down there. We'll see if we can grab this replay real quick. This comes down the track. I think a ton. Oh, there goes the 41. He's gonna hit the rear end of that six pretty badly there. I was about to say, I was gonna say it didn't look like a ton of damage to that six machine, but yeah, you see him spin it out probably from the damage that he got from the 41. Yeah, tough break for the six. Tough break for the 23. Really, the 23 did nothing wrong there. The six, I don't know, maybe he got called clear, but he definitely wasn't. Is it's gonna? Sorry, we're trying to communicate with our league owner here about the technical difficulties inside the Discord call. Um, but it's gonna be an interesting because we're kind of in the same predicament that we were for stage one, where it's gonna be only a couple laps here to end stage two. So and we should be going green with probably 5 to go here in stage two, I believe. So gonna be an aggressiveness to maybe get this track position and to try to get some stage points for some of these drivers. Some drivers maybe like someone like Perchatsky or um, some other people in here. Stage points don't really matter because they're not running full time, but they're just here to try to get a good finish. So it's going to be interesting to see how aggressive some people like Perchatsky are going to be over some of these full time drivers like Chris Otto, like Thomas Flynn, like Cody Meadows in the back there, right inside the top 10. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to play their cards here. See Chris Otto. I mean, he's been dominant this race here. Um, but to be fair, it has been because of help from from some teammates and some alliance cars here to keep him up here. And we just kind of separated from everybody that kind of got him up here. Gonna have to kind of do it on his own here until maybe that 24 kind of negotiate to get back with that 9 machine. Because those two have been working really well all race to keep those two up inside really the top 4 throughout the whole race here. Yeah, it will be a 5-lap dasher to end stage 2. And then after stage 2, we have no more guaranteed cautions, so we will see the pace car Once again, take a hard left turn on the pit road. Chris Otto, Prochaska once again lead us to green. 5 laps to go in stage 2. Once again, the inside gets a good jump. That Prochaska left out the dry here for a little bit. And you need that 17 to get back up to the back end of that 99. And that bottom lane is just gone once again. It seems like if you get kind of draw the lucky card here and you end up on the top, there's not really a whole lot you can do here on these starts. Prochaska help from the 17. Now looks like the 43 Goldberg will drop up. Trying to do anything they can. So maybe gain a couple spots. The 24 will jump up now and lead the top. Here comes the 9 as well. Well, they'll get clear. They'll drop back down to the bottom. Now Prochaska leads the top once again. Going to try to side draft down here down the front stretch. Now Prochaska with some help. A bump from the 17. 17 jumps out of line there. We'll try to get around the 99. Not going to have any help, though. Now we'll have a little bit of help. 3 wide here. Unfortunately, that's not what you want to do here with this few laps to go here in the stage. Doing that's just going to slow both lanes down and going to allow that bottom to continue to gain momentum here. Now James Bowles will jump out and try to lead the top. Bowles with Prochaska trying to make this top lane work. Prochaska all over the rear end of this number 35. We know Jeff knows how to push. He just got done racing in the Florida 500 over on the IDK Player YouTube channels. The 9 will go around. Caution will wave. And Chris Otto, depending on the damage, I might be race ending for that number 9 machine. Like pretty heavy front end damage on that 9 car. And that will end the stage here. James Bowles will win stage 2. So Bowles will win stage 2. Jeff Prochaska will end up coming home P2 and after stage 2 is complete. James Johnson P3. Larry Fairman back there in P4. Gabe Ledger P5. Cody Meadows will come on with the P6 finish here in stage 2. Don Blazier P7. Steven Sear P8. Jeff Weimer P9 and Angel Hernandez will get the last stage points here to complete stage 2. Now, these guys come down and do some pit stops. They're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And we'll be right back with you guys after pit stops have concluded.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. iRace or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back. Some technical difficulties, but you see now, Jason Steptoe leading the race here. Cody Meadows trying to do everything he can to get this bottom lane rolling, but here comes the top side. James Bowles on the south side lane, help from his Toyota teammate in the 20. And now that bomb's still prevailing. Cody Meadows doing an amazing job trying to keep this pack up to sync here. For the first time this race, I feel like the bottom is the place you want to be for the time being. And this track is just so unique, right? Look at the runs this top lane is going to get here. I'm going to get side by side with the 23 of Steptoe. James Bull's going to try to make the move here. But this is one of the only tracks. Like, when you go to a super speedway, you can, for the most part, push into corners. But here, you cannot do that. You have to back off here. For the most part, I feel like, no, Cody Meadows still tandeming with this 23 here. Down into the corners. Super sketchy right there. The 12 doing everything you can to keep this bottom lane rolling. So under 30 laps to go here from the iRacing Super Speedway. I see Jason Steptoe jump up in front of his 2311 teammate. They're going to try to make this top lane work. Cody Meadows said, hey, if you're going to leave it be out, I'm going to lead this bottom lane. He's got help from that forward teammate in the 66, Larry Fairman. And here comes the top in the middle, making stuff work. You saw those three Toyotas kind of taming together up in front of Cody Meadows. But Cody's now stuck that third car in line there on that bottom. We'll continue to see the 35 of James Bulls lead the way. Now we're starting to see some three wide action throughout the pack. Here comes the 48. Oh, from the 11, Charles Roberson making his way back through the field here after getting caught up in that big wreck earlier. Decided to take it a little bit easy. Make sure that car can make it to the end. Now Roberson making his way up through the field. The 23, a Steptoe gets shoved out of line. So now I'll be the 35 and the 20 on the bottom, the 19 and the 10. The two Toyotas leading each lane here. And Hernandez. Now it's help from the 10 of Jimmy Johnson. And Angel, you know, he's always been one of those drivers who will try to keep that car clean, and when he needs to go to the front, he will go to the front. He just has an eye for these types of races. Won one of his championships at Atlanta, the new reconfigured Atlanta, where So it is a super speedway. And rode in the back, tried to keep the car clean. Guess what? When it came down to it, he went out there. Not only did he win his 3rd championship, he won the race. Angel's always had this keen eye for being able to put his car up towards the front in the latter half of this race and just start to dominate and start to show why he is a 3-time champion here in the iSNF Cup Series. Starts to see 3 wide further on back. James Bowles leads that middle lane. He's a 43. Lead the way on that top side as the 3rd lane is starting to die out here. I do apologize for the blinking. He's 35 on the outside. It looks like the 19 of Hernandez still trying to fight strong on that bottom. So maybe a checkup. Caution will wave as caution is out. We'll just go to a scenic scene here. We try to fix this issue. Once again, we do apologize for the blinking, but we'll see. It looks like maybe Gabe Ledger crashed here. We'll see if iRacing will let us see what happened here to the 8 machine. Unfortunately, it looks like, yeah, we're just not going to be able to see what happened. Unfortunate. And we do apologize for that. I mean, this is not the quality that we want, but unfortunately, with just the amount of cars that are on the track, it makes it really hard for the sim to be able to, for really any PC to be able to render this amount of cars with how fast they're going here at the iRacing Super Speedway. It's just super demanding on really any computer here, especially with how, with the increased pricing on PC parts due to like all the AI that has come about here in the recent, years or two. It makes it really hard for really anybody to be able to afford the upgrade parts now on computers and stuff. So and obviously we're seeing now that sometimes that's how it comes to be when it comes to this stuff, as we still continue to blink here. When we come down Pay Road here, that's why we continue to go to these scenic scenes. But we're doing the best we can do here in the HVTV studios here in Central Kansas, and gonna try to put on the best show we can for you guys at home. Looks like Jimmy Johnson will win the race off Pit Road. Like Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Weimer, Thomas Flynn, Justin Johnson coming out of Pit Road here. Steven Sear back here, player inside the top 5. James Bowles, after leading some laps here, will come out P6, P7 for Cody Meadows. In front of teammate Mark Gonzalez. And rounding out your top 10, Larry Fairman, Chris Van Maastricht. Having a quiet day, but upside, back up here inside the top 10. went a lap down earlier this race, got the wave or got the lucky dog, whichever. Now back up here inside the top 10. We're starting to count down the laps here. For week 4 here in the iSNF Cup Series, we're down to now 22 laps to go. Should be going green with about, 21 to go here. See Charles Roberson get the wave around. See him make his way back around the track here. We'll get ready to re-rack him one more time here from iRacing Super Speedway. Get the lights off on the pace car. Come through the back stretch. One last time here before we go green. Will be a Chevy Ford front row. I think that's the first time we've got to say that tonight. There'll be James Johnson and Jeff Weimer here up in the front row, and there'll be Thomas Flynn and Justin Johnson. A lot of Johnsons in this league. They'll be your fast four. We'll see the pace car once again take a hard left down pit road, and it's going to be the 10 and the 60. And back ready to go into the restart zone, and we'll be back in here with 21 to go here in week 4. Once again, another good start by that bottom lane. You're going to see everybody on that top lane try to build as quick as they can. Fortunately, that means the 60, Jeff Weimer, he's out. No, he gets back in line, actually. And the first car on that outside is 38 of Chris Van Maastricht. Help from the 97, help from the 17 now. Try to get out there. Looks like the 22. Jumps out of line, will get back in. Fortunately, his teammate Mark Gonzalez, I think, was going to try to help him. He jumps back down on the bottom. We'll see if Cody... Oh, it's caution will wave once again. And maybe further in the back here. Got some slow cars. I can't really find here on timing and scoring what that caution was for. Well, regardless, caution will wave here with 20 to go now. Now this is, for a lot of these drivers, it's probably around that time where it is going to be go time, right? No more sitting in the back. And be finding your friends, finding the people who you can trust to work with you to get yourself up towards the front. Look here at Mike Iskandar, back here at P19. Probably will need a little bit of help to get himself back up to the front. Unfortunately, it looks like Jeff Prochatsky caught up in one of these wrecks. Like his night might come to an end early, unfortunately for the driver out of San Diego. Fortunate for Jeff. It's really quick here throughout the whole race, really. Showed some promise to potentially come up here and win his first race here in the iSNF Cup Series, but not meant to be. James Johnson continues the lead. I've raced with James here in the Cup Series. Used to race for me in college, actually. So back when I used to race here in the Cup Series, used to co-own college racing with a good friend of mine, Mark Morton, who doesn't really race here in iSNF, but really good friend of mine. Called me up and asked if I'd want to co-own a team, and I said sure, why not? And ended up going in college for a season. I think we had James in the car from time to time. I know I raced with James in college in the Xfinity series. Series that we hope to maybe call a couple races for here down the line. Maybe some, the crown jewel events maybe in that Xfinity series. We'd really like to come down and call a little bit more of a different atmosphere. I believe it's open set with the Xfinity series, so it's a little bit more of a different culture there down there in the lower series. Well, not the Xfinity series. I apologize. The O'Reilly series. I think it's going to be difficult for all of us to try to transition into that new name that it's been called now as O'Reilly Auto Parts. Took over the main title sponsor within secondary series over for, NASCAR. The lights are off on the pace car. James decides the bottom, which will give the 24 the outside lane here as we get ready to go green. Steven Sear back here in third place as Cody Meadows up here inside the top four. Cody Meadows still looking for his first win of the season here. I think got two last year in his rookie season here in the iSNF Cup Series. Gonna rebound from that. Remember, got into the championship for last season with the 21 Wood Brothers team. Got promoted up into the 12 car for this season. Hasn't been able to find that same luck that he did last season in that 21 machine. So he's in a prime spot to come up here and at least get a good finish. With 18 to go, but still, once again, 18 to go. Still quite a while here, with this track. The way it's raced, even just how long it is, that's still a long while to go. We're still going for at least, 18. What's 18 times 3? I'm not good at math, but still quite a bit of miles to go here, here in this race. The pace car will take the hard left turn once again, and James Johnson, Thomas Flynn, two Chevrolets leads us back to green. Cautional wave once again, like wrecking in the back. So we'll slow these cars back down once again. I think that might have been Justin Johnson back there. See what happened with this 22 machine. Be hard to see with the blinging here. We'll try to diagnose what the best of our ability what happened. Like the 6 comes down, makes contact with the 22, and 22 will go sliding down here. Luckily, a lot of asphalt down here that he could save that car with, or at least like what he did here. Get on the brakes, get on the binders to get that car slowed down. Joshua Lave once again here from Daytona. I mean, not Daytona, from iRacing Super Speedway. And we just got done calling a race here on Thursday for the Prestige Cup Series as they opened up their season at Daytona. Exciting finish for them. We'll open up this next week for the AWC Pro Series as they start their season off at Daytona as well. League owner Jake Scarborough, I've talked to him quite a bit. He's really excited about this next season coming up. It's season 2, and it's gonna be exciting. We High Velocity TV and the AWC, all have made a really good connections, especially after that first season where we had one season under our belt with that league, and made some good connections, and can't wait to see what we could do there. This season, Jake was super enthusiastic about what's to come there for that series, young series, not like iSNF where we're on season 11. That it's gonna be season 2 for that AWC Pro Series, at least here on the sim. They've been racing amongst each other on the console side with F1 and NASCAR and all that stuff, Forza and all that, for a long time, but decided to take their talents over to iRacing. And us over at High Velocity TV are just lucky enough to be able to call them home for the broadcasting rights. So if you guys are looking for some more broadcasts, obviously we do still stream broadcasts on Thursdays for the Prestige Cup Series, as they'll go into week 2 this next week of their series, of their season. And then obviously here on Fridays we'll be kicking off the AWC Pro Series, as like we just talked about here back there at Daytona. And then next week we'll be right back here on a Saturday evening to continue to call here iSNF Cup Series drivers. They are ready to start week 5. We go to Richmond next week. Our second short track of the season for these Cup drivers. We went to North Wilkesboro. They're in week 3, I believe. Continue to be excited about these races here. Obviously, iSNF, a different vibe, a different control factor. Always cool to see how these races go on. We will, and here from the booth, we are sending out prayers to Phil Manzo. As I know he's in the hospital now after having open heart surgery. So Phil, from everybody up here in the booth, everybody over here with High Velocity TV, probably everybody over here with iSNF, praying for a speedy recovery, man, and hope to have you back out on track soon, or just part of the community out soon. Hope for a speedy recovery, and we're thinking about we're thinking about you up here in the booth. So, um, just praying for a speedy recovery for you. But you do have Jimmy up here, up in the lead, to try to get this for you. And speaking of that, you'll see the pace car take a hard left turn. Jimmy Johnson and the 10 machine alongside Steven Sear. We ready to go. 13 to go. We ready to go back into the restart zone and be green once again here from iRacing Super Speedway. So I jump for this bottom line, and once again, caution will wave again. We'll load these cars back down. And maybe John Hopley. See what happened to the number 4 machine. Once again, it looks like just a similar incident that happened with Charles. Second time we've seen kind of the 4 pinching someone down here, fortunately. But unfortunately for the 4 this time, he's the one who kind of gets taken out in this one. We see the 35, James Bowles, barely comes up just a little bit. The round will go the 4. That will be a caution once again. So we'll get ready to rack everybody back up one more time, as obviously we saw the 4 spinning down 1 and 2 there. We'll get ready to catch the pace car once again. We'll continue to count these laps down. Obviously, the cautions are kind of dragging the race out a little bit, but obviously, like I said before, when we get around that 20-ish lap mark, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see some guys start to make some moves, trying to make up spots. This is what happens, right? Zach Phillips going to, looks like, get the lucky dog here. That car looks a lot better than it did before. Looking at last time I saw that thing had no left front fender, so a little bit better. So not over for Zach Phillips quite yet. We'll see him try to catch back up to the rear end of the field. We'll go back to number 10 machines, that Jimmy Johnson, James Johnson, whoever you want to call him. You know, been looking strong in this latter half of the race. See Mark Gonzalez back there behind him in P2U pole sitter. Had been pretty quiet throughout the race, except for maybe those first 15, 20 laps, I would say. Fell back to the back. And now, when it matters the most, he's back up here towards the front. Thomas Flynn, I would say, has been up here towards the front really the whole race. Look for him to maybe be aggressive to maybe try to get his first win of the season. And Steven Sear back here. One of the seasoned veterans here. Still have yet to get his first win here in the iSNF Cup Series. Look for him to maybe be aggressive to try to get the first one here after so long of trying. So Jeff Lyman back here. Couple wins under his belt. And the same thing with Chris. Back here in 6. Remember, got his first top 5. His first podium in week 1 here at Daytona. Still has not been able to win here in the iSNF Cup Series. Look for him. Maybe be aggressive to maybe get a win here in week 4. You see the lights off on the pace car once again. We'll get ready to go green here once again here. Under 10 to go here when we hit the stripe. You'll once again see that pace car take a hard left turn on the pit road. Now it's going to be James Johnson, Mark Gonzalez, Thomas Flynn, Steven Sear leads us back to green. Another good jump by that bottom lane. 10 will clear the 2. See if the 24 will try to get clear as well. To the 5, Steven Sear going to work with that teammate in the 24. He's going to get clear and try to get behind that 24 as he does. Caution once again. Looks like Justin Johnson once again involved in a caution. We'll take a look and see what happened to the 22 this time. It looks like this all started in front of him here. I think that's the 11 of Roberson getting into it. You see the 23 kind of coming down the track. You see the 16 really coming up the track there. Carlsy reacts to the 16, walking it up the track, gets into the back of the step toe, and the 23 hooks the 16 up the track. The 45 also involved. And we'll try to decipher what happens here. I think maybe the 22 gets spun out from the 16 up into the outside wall. And then just a blinking ensues. We'll not bother with that. Caution out once again here from the super speedway. And we will re-rack them one more time. And if I'm this 10, I don't really know if I like these cautions or not. I feel like it's a coin toss, right? Do you want these cautions? Because I feel like it's pretty easy to keep the lead here on these restarts. I mean, if I'm the 10, I kind of do like these cautions because it takes a good, I would say, 2-3 laps to get that top lane rolling, where they can go up and maybe make a pass on the top here. So as long as he could defend maybe and block like the guys immediately behind him in that bottom row, I think he might be able to get his first win here I believe. We'll take a look and see at his stats real quick. Yeah, in his iSNF career. Definitely mean a whole lot for that whole college team. Obviously, we brought it up earlier. You know, the driver of that car out right now while he undergoes, you know, some um no medical procedure, open heart surgery. That's nothing to play with, right? So we'll continue to knock these laps down, and hopefully we can kind of win it here within the next 20 odd minutes or so. We are approaching that overtime territory, so people that don't know how NASCAR overtime works, we get 3 attempts here in the iSNF Cup Series to attempt NASCAR overtime. So if we end up, I would say, with under 5 minutes to go here, 5 laps to go, we will go to NASCAR overtime. And basically, how that will work is that we'll get a green, white, checkered. So we'll go green, and we'll try to do 2 laps here, basically. And if we get a caution before we get back to the white flag, we will re-rack the field and try again. If we can run 2, but if we get back to that white flag without getting a caution, every man for himself. Whoever gets back to the line wins the race. So the leader can wreck, take out the whole field, potentially, and it's not going to matter. The caution will not waive. It will go down to whoever can get back to the line first. So be interesting to see if we do get the NASCAR overtime, how that's going to react. But hopefully, this is the last time we see this pace car come back out. We can have a good little 5-lap dash here to the finish. But you know, as they say, cautions breed cautions. So, like I said, I'm hopeful that we can, you know, get it to the end here without having any issues. But we'll just have to see here. Once again, will be another Toyota front row as the 10 of James Johnson alongside the 24 of Thomas Flynn. Leads us back to green. Coming on 3 and 4. Pace car once again. Look that hard left turn down the pit road. Once again, James Johnson in that 10 machine will lead us back to green here. Now 5 to go here from iRacing Super Speedway. A pretty good jump out of that top lane, honestly, comparatively to what we've seen before. Now could James go down here and drive it into the corner and try to keep this lead away from the 24 Thomas Flynn, but here comes Jeff Weimer helping that 24 on that top lane. They're going to be side by side out of turn 2, 3 wide. Steven Sear has to back out of it. That's going to kill the bottom. It's the wrecking. That's Mark Gonzalez out there out of the track. I don't think that'll be warrant of a caution, because that's a heartbreak for the 2 machine. And that whole Penske organization is, the 35 and the 10 are now doing each other. Now Thomas Flynn takes the lead here. Help from Jeff Weimer. So wrecking in the back. Huge wreck. Chris Otto involved. Looks like once again at 22. Johnson involved. And that's really the saving grace for that 2 machine of Gonzalez. Oh, wow. Reckon under caution. And that will now involve the two machine of Mark Gonzalez. I know that Mark's not going to be happy about that. So we'll see what happened here. I presume it had to do something with the design machine if he's going to get turned under caution here. Yeah. Go back and look at it. I mean, the 9's there. The 9 is there. Just looks like the 34 didn't really expect the 9 to take the space there. Unfortunately, yeah. Nothing really that Chris did wrong there. I mean, we're racing here down towards the end here. I mean, bottom of 4, 34 just trying to crowd the 9 down. The 9 can't really go that much further down. Fortunately, the 34 will go around. Eugene. Fortunately, just a mistake out of the 34. See the 43. Clobber the 9 pretty hard there. Did the 22 get through? You'll see Eugene right here. I guess upset with the 9 for some reason. Come up. And we'll go back and look in the cockpit to see. It looked like he clearly gonna hook that thing to the right to grab the 9. We'll take a look here. I mean, I don't know. It looks pretty bad, but also, I mean, he's keeping the wheel straight, but he's also got wheel damage. You hear him slow down. Well, when he gets to 9, I mean, I'm not gonna say he did it on purpose because really only he knows, but yeah, just a really bad set of circumstances. Chris luckily has that one fast repair still left in the tank. He'll take it. I'm back on track. I think Mark might have done the same thing. Just a bad set of circumstances back there in the back. I guarantee you when Eugene goes back into the replay and sees what happened, he's going to probably feel a little silly. But, it is what it is. I mean, you know, it's pretty, I would say it's pretty hard as a driver to keep your temper when you're in a spot like that to potentially go up there, race for a top 5, top 10. And, I mean, you get hooked, right? Obviously, just by the reaction of that 34, you could tell that he didn't even know that he was probably coming down the track. He probably thinks that the 9 just wrecked him, right? In the heat of the moment. But he'll go back and look at the replay and see that, you know, the 9 was there. He just kind of came down the track, wandered down the track a little bit. Ended up wrecking himself out. Obviously, you could say that the 9 maybe should have given him some slack or, you know, maybe lifted when he saw the 34 coming down or something. But also, you know, we're going to 3 to go there at the flag there. So kind of hard to like lift there when every spot counts there, especially here at these super speedways. But we didn't even get to talk about this. We are in the NASCAR overtime now. We will try our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Like I said before, we'll try to complete 1 lap here because it's 2 laps here to finish this race. So what the goal is, we're going to try to get to the white flag here where we to kind of officially call the race. But if we do get a caution before we get back across the line here, we will restack them back up and try it one more time. But hopefully for the last time, that pace car will take a hard left turn down pit road. And now it's going to be Thomas Flynn, who's going to lead us back to green here. We get ready to go back inside the restart zone. And Thomas Flynn gets us back to green. James Johnson, you can tell he's hungry. Trying to go for it here. Gonna push that 10 car out. You have the two RFK Fords behind. Probably gonna try to work together here if they get the opportunity to do. That's Weimer and Blazer back there in the 60 and the 17. Both those build submarine machines. Need to make it 2 more corners here, and this race will be official. James Johnson backing up here, try to make a run on the 24. He's going to do it, and I think we're going to get back to the white flag. So it's going to be white flag in the air for James Johnson. We'll see if that caution will wait before we get to the line. No, white flag in the air. Is there wrecking in the back? We will look at that later, but right now James Johnson took the lead away from the 24. Now he's going to have to try to wrestle this away from Jeff Weimer. Jeff Weimer in the 60. He's going to pull out a line here. Not going to get any help. That 42 is going to push that 10 out. In front of the 60 is the wrecking in the back once again. The 42 pulls out. Going to get help from the 24. Going to get help from the 5. James Johnson, no help on the bottom right now. The 24 will pull down in front. And he's going to have a run. Thomas Flynn, Peter Strandrit, going to be side by side at the line. Now look at Steven Sue with the run. At the line, give it to the 42. 2/100ths of a second. Peter Strandrit wins here in week 4 at iRacing Super Speedway. What a heartbreak for the 10. Leaning on the white flag. He's going to end up coming home with a P7 finish, but still, he literally just got left out to dry there. Like maybe some beef back here. Well, Parker Strandrit, what a move to get around that 24 machine. I thought that 24 Thomas Flynn had it. But he made the moves at the right time. And he's going to take it here. iRacing Super Speedway. Steven Sear, so close to getting his first win here in the iSNF Cup Series. He's going to come home P2. Mark Gonzalez, come home P3. And those will be your top 3 interviewers that we're going to talk to start your post-race show. We'll watch your. Want to hear burn it down here on the front stretch. I believe this will be Parker's first win here in the iSNF Cup Series. So congratulations to Parker and this whole 42 team. You need to watch this 42 burning down here. And we'll continue to watch him celebrate, but we're going to go ahead take a quick commercial break right before we start our post-race show and talk to your top 3 finishers tonight. My Super Speedway, once again, congratulations to the 42 team, and we will see you right after this commercial break. Apologize for that, but we welcome you back here to the iRacing Super Speedway here for the post-race show here for week 4 of the iSNF Cup Series here from iRacing Super Speedway. And I think it's time to talk to your top 3 finishers here at broadcast booth. And I know we do have everybody up here, but let's go ahead and talk to E3 for tonight's race. Go ahead and talk to Mark Gonzalez in the number 2. Hey, Mark, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy? Well, a P3 finish for you tonight. Starting on the pole, kind of the best way to start any race here, especially here at the super speedways where really it's kind of hard to do, but obviously with the group quali, I saw you run there, getting a run there to get the best lap time there by a long shot. But walk us through your race. Walk us through what kind of got you up here. Obviously, kind of an up and down race for you tonight here from iRacing Super Speedway.
I want to use my fast repair early on, so just trying to pick and choose when to be aggressive, and it really paid off. There at the end, I had to come in to use my last or use the fast repair, and somehow I was able to run through the pack and get a third out of a tough day, honestly.
I feel like that's something that a lot of drivers could say tonight. A tough day, kind of just a gruesome kind of grind set kind of day with. Honestly, I remember running in here in the Cup Series a couple seasons ago. I was surprised to see this back on the Cup schedule, but obviously, kind of that grind set. I feel like it's even a little bit harder to kind of run here with just how the track runs versus maybe like a super speedway, like at Daytona or Talladega. Is that maybe the consensus that you guys here in the vehicles had as well?
Yeah, I feel like at other super speedways, you're kind of aware of when a wreck is happening and you can kind of check up on when that's happening. With here, you're really playing the luck of the draw in the corners when they start wrecking. So to get out of it unscathed and really just staying in the front really helped out with that. And then, like I said, just picking and choosing your battles. I mean, if you see people getting bumped, roughed up and bumped and not getting set in the corner, you just got to back out of it, I feel like.
I definitely agree. I mean, it's kind of that give and take situation of, you know, where do you push, where do you not? And luckily for you, you kind of pick the right timing and the right lanes to go. Having to drive through a couple wrecks there on those last laps to put your way up here inside the podium. But despite that, still up here inside the top 3.
which is a great run for you. Not having the best luck this season, having a good podium finish here for you must feel good.
Yeah, it's definitely good now with the win and in system out of here. It's all about just averaging out those finishes. So whatever we can do to, I was just hoping for a top 10, honestly. So to get a third place out of this is a good accomplishment for the team.
Yeah, well, once again, congratulations on this P3 finish. A good run for you, despite all the ups and downs. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank here for this podium finish tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank the Ford Nation. I know they were helping out a lot tonight, trying to give tips and tricks. And I also want to thank the Team Penske Racing for putting a good car out here. And thank you for the broadcast, man. I can't wait to go and watch it back.
Well, we definitely appreciate the kind words from you, Mark, and good luck here next week as we get ready to go into Richmond.
All right, thank you, sir.
That was Mark Gonzalez, your P3 finisher. Let's go ahead and talk to Stevens here, P2. Not quite there, but Steven, for you, a good solid finisher, and just so close, but not close enough.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's a tough one to where just so close. I mean, 15 thousandths of a second. That's at a track like this. It's close but far at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been even a part of situations here where, and I mean, it comes down to the thousandths here, and that's exactly what happened with you here, Steven. And, you know, when it comes down to it, you're kind of one of those drivers who I feel like always tries to keep the car clean, tries to be safe. And I feel like you did a good job of doing that today and found your way up towards the front, towards the front with your Hendrick teammates there at the end. As someone who kind of races a little bit more conservatively, what is it like just trying to keep the car clean throughout the race?
Just kind of reading reading what the traffic is doing, dipping out. I mean, this is a track that it's easier to. It feels like I can back out of a situation, just right in the back. A little bit of shaking. And a lot of bacon. And just I kind of bide my time. I kind of gave up a chance for stage points in the first stage just because I just wanted to keep the car clean, not burn through fast repair, and then I actually still had my fast repair. I didn't take any damage at all in the race somehow. Um, so I think just keeping the car clean, staying out of trouble, not putting myself in those four wide situations. I know it's easy here, so just kept the clean car and came down to green white checker. Just didn't work out.
Exactly. Going back to that green white checkered, obviously you had a great push to get you where you were there in that P2 spot. Help from I can't even remember who it was to get
Yeah,
you.
it was yeah. Mark gave me a push there at the end, and I think I kind of hurt myself a little bit because when I changed lanes a little too late. I had a teammate spotting me after they got wrecked out, and I didn't move up uh, when he said, and I just nudged the 42, which probably propelled him a little bit, and the push came just a little too late, and I kind of hit the wall too, coming towards the stripe, and I think that killed my momentum a little bit.
Yeah, despite that, I mean, we saw just close racing there for the win, and like I said, I mean, I feel so bad for you. I mean, just like you, I raced for quite a bit here, and still got a goose egg in the win column. So, but still a P2 is still solid finish here for you. Especially like what Mark said with the winning your in out. It's just about consistency, and this is exactly what you need to propel you into the chase here, in a few months or so. But you know, uh, you know, I understand, what it feels like to not win here, especially in those photo finishes, but still a good finish for you here in a P2 spot. So before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for this close P2 finish?
Yeah, I want to thank all of my HMS teammates. Yeah, we got a good little group there. We all gel really well. And also shout out to Ria for putting on the league and doing all that hard work of getting everything ready each week, especially with all the chaos that's been going on this week.
You're welcome.
Well, yeah, well, it's still a solid P2 finish for you, Steven. So once again, congratulations on that, and hopefully we talk to you later on in the week, and we wish you good luck next week at Richmond.
Yeah, definitely. And Richmond, Richmond's usually a pretty good track for me, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, hopefully you can carry that momentum from tonight, and hopefully we can see you maybe up here one spot better there in Virginia.
Yeah, hopefully.
You have a good rest of the night.
All right, thanks.
And now's you, P2 Fisher Stevens here, just so close, but too little, too late. But I guess it's now time to talk to the man of the hour, Mr. Parker Strainer. Parker, it's Christian up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your first win here in the iSNF Cup Series, and we're looking at the replay now. 15/100ths of a second. Congratulations on your win tonight. Walk us through what got you up here in the victory lane.
The race in general for me wasn't the best because on lap 19, I did my best to avoid a wreck. Then I think it was the 77 just plowed into my rear. So that made me stuck 2 laps down. Then the more cautions came out, I just kept trying to repair that damage. Then when I think it was when the second stage end, everyone came out. I had enough fuel to make it. So I just stayed out and got the wave around. And then I was back on the lead lap. Then I was just fuel saving, damage saving, and especially from my Toyota teammates, this help of us just sticking in a line to get past the more majority of the Chevys and Fords.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like every manufacturer did a fantastic job working with each other with those alliances, trying to get each other to the front. Obviously, we saw like the Hendrick guys work really well. They stay up front. We saw the Penske guys for a little bit get themselves up to the front. Obviously we talked to Mark with the two Penske machine, and obviously you guys with the Toyotas, the kind of the 2311 alliance and all that stuff. And I felt like, yeah, all the manufacturers did really well tonight, getting each other up towards the front there. But going to that green white checkered, obviously, I would say you weren't really in the best spot there, but somehow made it up through there. What was going through your mind there when you saw that we were gonna have to go into
Um,
overtime?
Before the green white checkered, like it was like I think it was like 2 to go, like naturally, me and the 19 were just cruising. We were cooking. We were all just nose to tail. Then the caution came out. We started 20. We started all in the back, 27th and 28th. We just made up to 11th and 10th. Overtime came out. We had enough fuel to me and him had both had pretty much full tanks. So we just pushed until the end so we didn't have the fuel save. Next thing I know, the bottom line is just everyone's just trying to check up. It was one of the RFKs went up too early. I stayed on the 10, and yeah, I went around the 10. The 24 bumped me. The 24 tried to get me, but I sort of arrow blocked him. The 5 gave me a good push to the end, and yeah,
Well, I guess that's all you need is, good pushing from teammates and obviously
and
you.
luck.
Yeah, obviously luck, yeah. I would say luck's a big portion, but you also just putting yourself in a good position to make the moves to get yourself up towards the front, and that's exactly what you did. Winning in a photo finish once again. I feel like every time we come here, there's a photo finish somewhere in the pack. And this time it was for the win, but congratulations, not only on the win, but your first win here in the iSNF Cup Series. Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank tonight for your first win here?
My girlfriend actually during caution, we made mozzarella sticks. She was just hand feeding me when I was driving, so that helped me focus a bit more under driving, not worry about moving my hands to eat food.
Well, I don't know what we do without him sometimes. So yeah, props to her for giving you the some fuel, actually some fuel to keep you going. But once again, Parker, congratulations on this first win. Enjoy the burnouts, and we'll go ahead and let you get away to celebrate. And hopefully, we can see you up here, maybe in Victory Lane next week for Richmond.
I'm not good at short tracks.
Well, once again, congratulations, and hope you have a good rest of the night.
All right, thanks.
That was your race winner for tonight's
Right.
race. Parker, I mean, winning his first race of in his career, I mean, is especially the photo finish. That's going to be probably pretty memorable for that young man out of Ontario.
Yeah, really solid finish. as far as the what was going on up front. I did go back and watch the replay, and they didn't wreck each other to in order to win. So there's no controversial top five, if you will. Unfortunately, there were some shenanigans going on in the mid and back of the pack where people were getting little wreck happy there on the last lap. Took out some heavy hitters there, and well, unfortunately for some of the guys that had good runs going, didn't end up finishing there. I know I want to give a shout out to Cody Meadows, my teammate in the 12 car. He was running real solid in the top 10. Of course, got wrecked out last lap. Chris Van Mastricht in 38. He had a top 5, top 10 going. He got wrecked out. And then some of the drivers that got lucky and missed them got top 10s. Myself and Justin L. Johnson. We somehow swerved and diced and sliced and did whatever we needed to kind of get through it, and just got lucky, really, and that's where we ended up top 10. So I'll take it when I can get it. I mean, even if it's an ugly win, it's better than a pretty loss. That's what we always say as a Cleveland Browns fan nation here in Ohio. So I guess we'll just kind of go roll with that. But what do you say we button this up with a full field rundown on the finishing order?
Let's do it. So
Awesome.
we just talked to your winner here, Parker Strandrit, getting his first win here at iRacing Super Speedway. Steven Sear being so close, 5/100ths of a second. Gonna come home P2. We talked to Mark Gonzalez, also your P3 finisher. Jason Steptoe comes home P4 alongside Jeff Weimer, rounding out your top 5. Thomas Flynn back there in P6. Jimmy Johnson in that 10 comes home P7 after leading coming into the white. Don Blazer back there in P8. Justin Johnson back there in P9. And Ray Ferris rounds out your top 10. Zach Phillips back there in 11th. Hopley in P12. David Anderson in that number 97 track racing machine will come home P13. Martin Roberg in the 43 comes home 14th. James Bowles comes home P15. Cody Meadows obviously got wrecked out on that last lap, comes home P16 alongside Angel Hernandez in the 19. And in 18th, going to be Mike Iskandar.
Yeah, see Mike Iskandar. Yep. Chris Van Mastricht finishes. I got P19 on my screen. Not sure how that correlates. Charles Roberson, P20. Eugene Thorne and Larry Fairman, the two Canadians, got 21st and 22nd. Chris Otto, I know he got wrecked out there toward the end. He got 23rd. Joey Maines got yeeted into the fence there and unfortunately took out his ride early in the race. Well, actually mid-race. 24th for him. Shane Griffin subbing for Blake Hewlett tonight. Got 25th. Eric Jorgensen with a blown engine in 26th. Isaac Wilson, 27th. Chuck Cobb, 28th. Gabe Ledger, 29th. Jeff Perchatsky got 30th. He was subbing for Rodney Roberts tonight. Nicholas Johnson out of Germany got 31st. Will Austin, 32nd. Bob Wyckoff, 33rd. Alyssa Sharp, she got 34th. Davey Hendrick, he got 35th. Brian Treadwell, 36th. And Chris Bishop with a night he would just as soon forget, running out the field in P37. So, kind of an ugly race. Pretty much the top half of the field is pretty much all that finished the race. And the lower half of that finishing order did not, unfortunately. So, how many cautions did we have tonight? Do you remember?
I can probably pull up the ticker and see. I know we had at least 13. So,
Okay. So we're probably right on par with average. So, as far as this track goes. So, but hopefully it was good racing for those watching, and don't forget to hit that smash that like and subscribe button. I know it helps the league. It helps the channel grow as well. You do such a fantastic job, Christian, and it's just getting better and better behind the booth here. Love having somebody I can trust that can run the show and bring a little bit of NASCAR element into it, some teamwork elements into it, and know pretty much every driver in the field at one point or another. You've raced against them yourself, and just having somebody like you that can really hold up the fort like that in the booth. And I apologize not having the right roles, or it's not the roles, it's just that there's a setting somewhere, and I'll get with you afterwards. But I know it had to have been frustrating not being able to interview everybody you wanted to at certain times. But we'll make it happen for next week, and um, we'll go on to Richmond, and hopefully they'll unbury themselves out of snow. They got to dig some snow out of Richmond before we can get there. So hopefully it'll be high and dry by the time we get over there next week and put on a good show over there. Do some short track racing.
Yep, hopefully we can have some good races there at Richmond. It's prone to put on some good. I feel like it's one of the better short tracks for a broadcast. So I mean, you can really get strung out and get some long runs there, especially we can get the right combinations there. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we could do there at Richmond next week. But yeah, from everybody over here on the High Velocity TV side over here from Central Kansas, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator. It's alongside Rhea Face here to finish out our post race show. Um, yeah, fun calling the race tonight. Definitely an entertaining race, and obviously, once again, congratulations to Parker on his first win and a photo finish here from the iRacing Super Speedway to end week number 4 here for the iSNF Cup Series. Yeah, I hope everybody has a good rest of the night, and we will see you guys next week here once again, as we mentioned, at Richmond. So once again, hope everybody has a good rest of the weekend. Enjoy, you know, the snow flurries if you're getting them, and stay safe, everybody. And hopefully we can see you guys next week here for some more cup racing.